Well, unless you're living under a rock, you know that Western Michigan has a new head football coach. That's Lance Taylor. Hello, everybody. My name is Kenny Scherlinger, here with the Director of Athletics here at Western Michigan, Dan Bartholomew. Dan, I know that this was probably a stressful time for you, but a fun time. You get a head football coach. Just take us through after you get off that podium a couple weeks ago with the national search now announced. What was the thought process and how did you move forward with that?
Really, I was focused on two things, right? The first was I was focused on the future of the football program at Western Michigan and just the impact of that hire on our goals and our vision moving forward. And then the second thing I was focused on was our team and our recruits, right? I mean, you think about this process, but you forget you got 105 young men plus a recruiting class of about 25 that are all connected to the program and invested in a lot of ways. And so you feel like you owe it to them to not only get the process done right and do it in a deliberate fashion, but also move quickly because they're emotionally invested and they've got decisions that they need to make in their lives as well. And this hire is very impactful on those decisions. So wanted to move fast. And so we got going right away on Tuesday. And it started with Zooms. Obviously, most of the people that we were talking to were still playing football. And so it was hard for me to get to them in person. They've got practice, they've got team meetings. And so it was Zoom meetings, honestly, from about 9 p.m. to midnight every night. And we had identified a list of candidates that we thought were great fits for the job. Got to know them through that Zoom process, really enjoyed those conversations. You learn a lot, even being on the other side. And then it was time to whittle it down to a few finalists and get out on the road. And so we took it down to 4 and went over to the West Coast and met in person with 4 fantastic candidates, great people, all with the goal of making sure that we got this process done in time for the signing date on the 21st. And fortunately, we were able to move through it a little bit more quickly than that. Lance was obviously one of those finalists, and no question just blew us all away in the interview. The guy is just fantastic, as everybody knows now, having heard him speak, and excited about the future.
Did you have like a pivotal moment that you knew that he was going to be your guy, that you needed to get him as your head football coach?
About the first 5 minutes of our in-person conversation. So I had heard a lot about Lance from people in the industry that I trust. And the feedback was very consistent, organized, visionary, relatable. Student athletes love him, also holds them accountable. And you know how it is, you can get a feel for somebody in that first 5 minutes, and Lance and I hit it off right away. Our vision for the program was identical. I think our values and our philosophies and the way we want to go about creating a championship culture was identical. And then it was just sort of a fun conversation for 2 hours. He walked out of that room and all I could say was, wow, what an unbelievable candidate. And obviously then we were focused in on getting him here to Western.
With the college football landscape changing, it seems like it's a very fluid situation right now. You have the 12-team playoff coming up. How important is it to make sure you capitalize on everything moving forward with the football program?
Yeah, listen, I say it to our staff, I say it to our coaches, and I say it publicly. Our football program is the high tide that lifts all boats. And there's no better example of that than what was just recently announced with the college football playoff. So we've got an opportunity as a Group of 5 conference to secure an automatic qualifier in that tournament. We did not have that opportunity before, right? We'd only seen one Group of 5 in the 6 years of the college football playoff actually get one of those bids. Now we've got an automatic opportunity. So yeah, of course, we want to put some resources towards realizing that goal. Now it starts with winning the MAC, right? We can't even be in the conversation without winning our conference. And that's just something that we haven't been able to do, unfortunately, in several years. So with Lance and I, as we look at the future, the goal is, hey, let's go win the MAC West, okay? Like, let's put ourselves in a position where we go into the last week of the season and we're not out of it. And of course, that will take some time. And then you win the MAC West, now you put yourself in the conference championship game. So let's figure out a way to win that. You win that conference championship game, you take care of business in the non-conference, now you're in that sort of national picture discussion. Not something that happens overnight by any means. There are building blocks along the way, but something that can be achieved here at Western Michigan.
How many cups of coffee did you go through during that whole process?
There was not a lot of sleep, Kenny. The other problem was I was on the West Coast, so you get the whole time zone thing. But it was late nights and early mornings. I did get my venti coffee every morning, and I drank it rather quickly. It was exciting. It was energizing. The adrenaline's going through you. You realize the magnitude of this type of decision on, not just the athletic department and the student athletes, but everybody who's invested in the program. And you want to get it right, and you want to do a first-class job. And so it was fun. It was definitely a carousel I was happy to jump off of. But again, just thrilled to have Coach Taylor and his family here.
We'll get some rest and enjoy your holidays. As for all the Bronco fans, we'll talk to you soon as we inch closer to National Signing Day and spring football coming up in just a couple of months.